round of 3 for the championship 4 in just 2 short weeks. Last week, we saw Grant Applegate take his 5th win of the year, his 3rd win in 5 playoff races to punch his ticket. Other drivers on the outside looking in. Cannot wait for this tension to be broken. Zach, how are we feeling tonight?
I'm pumped, Mean Gene. It is Las Vegas. This is a fun racetrack, one I always enjoy coming to. Really intense, close racing here, and it's all on the line. And what better place than Sin City to put all your chips on the table? So many drivers here need to visit Victory Lane, so this is going to be an intense one.
Hey, I'll tell you what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas unless it's on the Vortex Racing Network.
Yes, sir.
Big shout out to Fish Speed Brakes, sponsor of tonight's race. Let's get right to the business at hand. Qualifying results are in. On the pole, Nate Lesko. He's looking good in the playoff picture. Needs a good ride today to secure that championship 4 appearance. Joining him on the front row, gonna be Joe Volpis. Volpis in a battle right now to see if he will go to the next round, or will it be Kenneth Redinger? Speaking of, starting in the 3rd place position, Kenneth Redinger right behind him, joined on the 2nd row by David Owens, the Godfather, making an appearance here on Elimination Monday. Tony Iverson returns after his big win earlier to punch his ticket into the playoff 4 after his win at Auto Club. Buddy Sully needs a win here today, starting in 6th place. Justin Parham going to fire off from the 7th position, joined on the 4th row by Ryan Halla. Jay Stinson needs a victory here today to advance, as does Wyatt Mickelson, starting in the 10th place position.
In 11th will be Louis, the captain. 12th will be Eric Gambrill. Great to see Gambrill back. 13th will be Jack Sanders with Jay Darger rolling off in 14th. Zach Clausen will be in 15th. Grant Applegate doesn't need to do much here today, so he'll be starting all the way back in 16th. Kevin Kyle making an appearance. He'll be in 17th. We have Tom Lester in 18th and Brandon Guerin rounding out this field in 19, which leaves us just enough time for a little certain somebody.
And now, race fans, for the most famous words in motorsports, the star of Universal Pictures movie, I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, Kevin James.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Oh, hell yeah, Mean Gene.
Oh, hey, I tell you what, man, got invited to a sneak preview of that movie. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but can't wait.
It's
to be
hot.
Mean Gene sometimes.
It is.
So about to get underway. Hey, want to give a shout out to the Hala family as they are watching on YouTube. Good luck here today to that number 41. Looking for his first win of the year, but a playoff driver in his rookie year. Got his teammate Wyatt Mickelson out there looking for the dub to punch his way into the Final 4 in just 2 short weeks at Kentucky. The pace car is out of the way. We're about to go live here at Las Vegas. Flagman waves the flag. Away we go. Keeping an eye on the pole setter. Inside lane, look at the shove that the 42 is putting into the back of the 10 of Lesko. Outside lane trying to pick it up. This is a 1.5 miler. Not a lot of space out there, Zach.
No, there really isn't, especially on this immediate run. Right in these first 2 laps, these cars are always a little bit more unpredictable and loose than they will be 10 laps from now. But at the same time, they're bunched up, Mean Gene. The picking's good right now. Now is the time to get in position. And Joseph Volpis, not with the start I think he would have liked.
Joe Volpis, though, did win Sunday at Dover in the Next Gen Cup, so he's got momentum on his side. Speaking of momentum, how about Nate Lesko, the number 10? Second in points right now, leading him around Vegas. Behind him, Kenneth Redinger, Tony Iverson in 3rd, Joe Volpis 4th, and the Godfather, David Owens, running 5th, rounding out the top 5. Looks like some single file racing around Vegas right now, Zach.
Yeah, we got David Owens in a new paint scheme looking really, really good right now. And it's always great to see that 8 on here on track. And he is in that new Racing Tyrants paint scheme, so you know who he's here to help. Those guys looking exceptional for their championship race already. But up front, we still have Nate Lesko and the guy who would really, really love to visit Victory Lane today, Kenneth Redinger.
Kenneth Redinger, hell of a season for The 42 driver, as in just 14 starts, he's put together 8 top 10s, 7 top 5s, 1 win, got a stage win in a couple of poles. Kenneth Redinger, definitely one of the guys you want to keep an eye on here today. Action a little bit further back in the field, the 25 at Sanders, and you can see Grant Applegate now trying to rip the rail. Very indicative of how we've seen Applegate's style. This guy, defending champion, and here he is, 5 wins on the year. Zach, 3 wins out of the 5 playoff races. Does anybody have an answer for the question known as Applegate?
Yeah, just like last year, Applegate has found heat right at the right time. Has so much momentum right now, and today he's just on house money, and what better place to be doing that than at Las Vegas? And no surprise here. We've talked about this all season long. Applegate, the first to start experimenting with that top line here. And one thing that is surprising me, Mean Gene, is Las Vegas, normally such a multi-groove track. Right here under the lights, maybe it's the lack of temperature in the track this early in the race, not enough rubber laid down yet, but very single file so far, in that inside lane looking to be preferable. Gonna have to keep our eye on Applegate and see if he can make any forward progress using the outside.
Well, when I see a lot of people running the same line, the first thing I wonder is, did Jordan Fisher make a video and did everybody watch it? Big shout out to our sponsor, Jordan Fisher Fish Speed Brakes. We got a partnership through the Vortex Racing Network. He and Zach putting out, we're loose in the grass.
Oh, free
he's gonna come right
lawn keeping. Don't destroy that gorgeous car, Jay. Oh,
no.
Got him. And we're staying green, Mean Gene.
Jay Dargert went for a ride, came up short, and ends up in the infield wall. Staying green, though, as it did happen. The lack of speed happened below the apron. Unfortunately, full speed as he went into that exterior wall. That grass, not friendly.
No traction on there. That might as well just be ice, like when a lake is frozen. And you saw that right there with Dargert. Big hit in that very pretty paint scheme. We'll see if he's able to recover from that. No fast repairs this season, so he's going to have to make the most of that situation, and no caution to help him out either.
Did he get loose, or did somebody help him?
It looked like he just got loose on exit. It looks like some, I would say, intense racing. Let's actually take a look at it, Mean Gene. Here we go. He is right behind Louis. Oh, and Applegate, I don't know.
Applegate might have helped him. Those two guys have been feuding all season long, and it might be continuing right here.
I forgot that these two have had words. And let's see. Was there contact? It was net code, Mean Gene. But it happened nonetheless. I don't think Jay Dargert's going to care what the specifics are.
And, you know, that's where iRacing fails you, because you know that right hand and that finger salute came up immediately.
Oh, yeah.
From Dargert as Applegate goes around. So, netcode claiming a driver. We're going to see just how long he stays in the pit. I got an eye on him right now, and he is still stuck down in there. Meanwhile, we are racing here on lap number 10, scheduled for 135, which means around lap 68, we're going to have stage points awarded. Now, there is no caution scheduled for the end of the stage. They will continue to run green. Top 5 drivers will receive points, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 to the 5th place driver at the completion of lap number 68. Now, what I was saying earlier, though, Zach, did you guys make one of our beautiful track guides for Las Vegas by any chance?
We have not done Vegas yet. I think that one's coming out soon, and that's going to be an exciting one. I think actually maybe coming out tomorrow. We have so many of these dang things coming out. But yeah, we talked a lot about this track, and I do remember the bottom being the dominant line, where Jordan thought things would trend, and it was under the lights as well.
Well, there's a few drivers out there we know have that affiliation. Nate Lesko, Tony Iverson, those guys, Buddy Sully, Ryan Holla, all these guys part of that affiliation
Applegate, I believe,
in the
as
Discord.
well.
Applegate definitely part of that little group. So I say little, it's not a little group. It's pretty
Gets bigger by the day.
large. It is growing fast. Coaching sessions also available for a cheap price.
There's that Fish Speed logo.
Yeah, there it is. Fish Speed Brakes rocking on the Applegate. So if that's something you want to do, you want to get a little bit better. If you're a a back marker that wants to get up to the middle, or the playoff run. If you're a playoff driver that wants to get into that championship 4, you're a championship driver, want to take home a title, this is something you want to check out. Fish Speed Brakes. Jump in their Discord. Meanwhile, right now, Nate Lesko still continuing to have an early run here. Kenneth Redinger not going anywhere. And, you know, as far as the playoffs go, Zach, it really is an interesting battle as we see Joe Vulpes, who's kind of mired in one of his rougher seasons statistically, but still finds himself up at the top of the points here, battling with Kenneth Redinger. Now, remember, with the win, oh, that's a week off. Unless this is the future and I don't know about it.
Oh, am I a week off? Am I a week behind?
Yeah, I think you're a week behind.
I will fix that.
So we see Redinger and Vulpes, though, in the battle. Lesko is in second with a little bit of a lead. Of course, up the top, Grant Applegate. Now, with that win at Auto Club, Tony Iverson punches his way into the championship 4. But Tony missed last week at Pocono. What does that mean? That means that even if he finishes below the cut line of 4, Tony is in. Applegate's in. Tony Iverson's in. Only 2 seats remain in this game of musical chairs. And Nate Lesko with a significant points lead over Vulpes and Redinger. Vulpes and Redinger inches apart from each other. It's like the North and the South staring across that Mason-Dixon line in the middle of the Civil War. Of course, Vulpes being from Pennsylvania, and Kenneth. Where's Redinger from?
Let me pull that up. Let me see if he.
Is he from Pennsylvania too?
I think he's from somewhere in that area. Let's see here if it will tell us. Redinger is from Palm Coast, Florida.
Yes, it is. It's North versus South.
It is. You called it. You knew it.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is an intense situation going into this race, Mean Gene. A lot has to happen, and I think the easiest way to fix it is just to win this race, right?
Of course. Of course, it's going to be somebody crazy to win the race.
Uh-huh.
Somebody you didn't expect. Somebody that's going to really throw this thing upside down.
And here you guys go.
And speaking of who that might be, yeah, there you go. So you can see right there, Lesko with the point lead over Vulpes and Redinger has to feel confident, especially since he's winning the race at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But then look how close the wait a minute.
Yeah, it has Iverson lower, but it shouldn't, right? Because Iverson's locked in. So really there's one less spot there than it appears. Whereas Applegate and Iverson are locked in. Lesko, Vulpes, and Redinger battling here on points, where Lesko looking very, very good.
Yeah, so that is where it goes. Will it be Lesko? Will it be Vulpes? And then right now with that speed, though, Redinger putting up what he needs to do. If he can just sneak on by Nate Lesko, and then Lesko with that position would get in ahead of Joe Vulpes. Now, don't count out Joe Vulpes. He's still in 4th place, and we know this fella. He's the kind of guy that'll do a strategy to win a stage and then turn around and run a strategy to win the race. You're coming in for fuel, and he's crossing the start-finish line. Seen it many times. Other drivers, though, still not out of this. Applegate up 10 spots into that number 6 position. And how about a little action out on the track? Was that Louis I see going side by side?
Yeah, it was. Him and Kevin Kyle mixing it up. Kevin Kyle not able to complete the pass, which, only increases patience from the driver of the 29. And Louis going to do that bottom to top line. Really, really nice line there. But Kevin Kyle with a little bit of a run. You see him trying to peek to the inside. Patience wearing thin all over the field here.
Kevin Kyle, Sim and Destroy factory driver. Last year, part of the championship 4. This year, turned over his wheel to Zach Winstead. Zach, of course, had a baby. Congratulations to the Winstead family. And Kevin stepped back into the car. Not enough starts to make it to the playoffs, but Kevin Kyle is a former Final Four championship driver from last year. Also saw him win at the iRacing Super Speedway last year. So this is a guy with speed that has the ability to cut through the track. A little rusty right now. Also, congrats to Kevin for selling his house. Hey, man, it's always good to sell a house.
Big news. He's been working on that for a long time. Great to see that happen. Kevin should simplify his life in the long term, certainly not the short term. So it's great to see him out here with the little free time he has on track. So that's awesome. Doing a great job. And I mean, one thing we know from Kevin Kyle is he likes to take things slow in the beginning of runs. He likes to let the track come to him and the run come to him. And so far, that's what he's doing. He's starting to move his way through this field, up 4 positions since he started this race. So doing a great job. He's going to have to close that gap as we're starting to see little mini packs start to form here.
Yeah, really good action back here watching these guys do battle. You can see Jack Sanders part of this group, Buddy Sully, those guys right now running side by side. Kick back a little bit. I'm sorry, that's Kevin Kyle and Buddy Sully side by side. Then Jack Sanders ripping
Sully
that high
falling
line
off
here.
considerably, Mean Gene. Buddy Sully is down 7 positions.
And then, a little blink. He's going to teleport.
Blinky blink. Oh!
Brandon,
you're
touching
still.
Jack.
You're on the track, buddy. Oh, that was scary, Mean Gene. That was scary.
Oh my God, he teleported straight backwards, and Tom Lester passed him.
Yeah. I think it was the opposite of the move he was trying to do in that teleportation.
And Louis hit the brakes. First time I've seen Louis hit the brakes when Calamity was in front of him. But good job there by the captain.
Yeah, that made me.
You can't eat an invisible ribeye, bud.
You can't.
An invisible T-bone. You can't eat it.
It's got to be there as you see these guys going very high on entry. That was Eric Gambrell grazing the wall, going into 1 there, trying to get as high as he possibly can to use that outside lane, really maximize that momentum. Here we are on lap 26. We talked about when are we going to see that outside lane come in, become important. Looks like we're at that stage. Another development, I should say, that's becoming a big one, Mean Gene. Kenneth Redinger has reeled in our leader.
Yeah, Kenneth Redinger needing that win, and he is right in the middle of it. Of course, right behind him, Tony Iverson. So those 3 guys, all 3, Lesko and Iverson are teammates. So right now, Redinger battling both as he doesn't have Stinson and Parham up there to help him with the fight. A little bit further back in the pack, go back for a minute to Gambrell. He's back there with a Stinson, Gambrell, Wyatt Mickelson issue going on. You know, Jace, the 51 right there of Wyatt Mickelson, he needs a win if he would like to advance.
Great to see him back.
He's trying not to ride the Dente as Gambrell right there with him. And directly ahead of him, that's Jay Stinson. Stinson as well needing a win. That's the battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th. But Gambrell, always an exciting driver, giving us some great highlight moments, running right next to 2 must-win championship contenders.
Another driver that's falling off, Mean Gene, is look at Vulpes down to 6th. That will become important if this does stay green and we get to our stage point. You're going to want to get those points as Redinger currently very much in position to capture some stage points. Close that gap. Vulpes wants to start to get this run underneath them. Would not be surprised if we uncharacteristically see Vulpes be one of the first to bring it down in the pits, which I would assume would happen in the next 5 to 10 laps.
Now, let me ask you this, though. If you're Joe Vulpes, are you thinking, I have to win? Like, it's nice to win a stage, but sometimes that stage can cost you your final run at that checkered flag. So if you're Joe, I don't think he'll get cute for a stage. I think he might work on it a little bit further to try to get the win, because if Redinger somehow wins this race, if Mickelson wins this race, Vulpes is chasing Nate, and I don't think a stage is going to help him.
No, I agree. He's going to want to have to think of the grand scheme of this thing. This is not a must-win for Joseph Vulpes, but it is for Redinger, and he is now getting passed by Tony Iverson. One thing to keep your eye on is that Tony Iverson is going to be doing something different than the rest of the field all race, Mean Gene. I think we're going to see every driver here, besides that number 13, trend upwards as these runs go on. But one thing we've seen from Tony, especially, mind you, this is his home track. This track means a lot to him. He wants to win here. He comes here every year. He knows this track like the back of his hand, both in this service and in real life. He is such a bottom feeder here around Vegas, and he does it in a way to where he's able to keep those tires beneath him better than those guys that trend upwards, and that is what is kind of starting to come around here on lap 32. Looks like Iverson, the fastest car on the track, committed to that bottom.
Also, want to give a little update. I said that Lesko had been running with the Racing Tyrants. He was in their Discord a couple of times,
right? But he
again,
isn't, right?
Has not been there in the playoff.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Applegate is, which I do mix them up.
Yeah. All right. So look at Redinger. Redinger trying to rip that outside. You know, Iverson's going to slide job him and give him all the dirty air he can handle.
Yeah, it's a lot of dirty air he's throwing down there. And what's interesting about that, too, is just how flexible Iverson's line is, me and Gene. On that last lap, you saw Iverson really go around and run that whole bottom and exit bottom, kind of like he did just there. See, he kind of exit the bottom, didn't slide up, but he has that flexibility to go all the way to the top, slide up, take that air away from Kenneth Redinger. That is a lot, or that's a big luxury to have at a track like this. Tony Iverson really looks to have the most car control. You'd think it's Nate Lesko, and it may be, but clean air can be misleading.
It really is, because if you look at the fastest driver on the track, that last lap, it was actually the 51 of Wyatt Mickelson, up 2 spots.
He's ripping
into 8th place. So he is really finding his groove right now as he is trying to chase down Joe Volpus and just set himself up for a really good second run. Up ahead, you can see Applegate, second fastest car on the track, and he is giving chase right now to Redinger and Tony Iverson. All of those guys, of course, about half a second behind Nate Lesko. Lesko leading this thing wire to wire here on lap number 35 of our scheduled 135. 100 laps to go at the start-finish line. Let me ask you, how many laps are we thinking these guys can make on fuel?
My guess is no more than 45. I'm surprised they've made it this far, me and Gene. But I think they can go a little bit further, else we would see some guys go for that undercut. Yeah, we're about a second off the pace here in terms of when they had fresh tires. So you'd think the undercut would have been more present by now, as you see one guy who definitely is not going to be very intrigued by it, and that's Grant Applegate, up a whopping 13 positions in a 19-car race. This guy is on the rails right now. He is so fast, is Applegate. So next up for him will be Iverson, and he's going to wait for these guys to try to undercut him, because that's the last thing he has to worry about. I mean, he can wait for these guys, then he can overcut them, and the bleeding will be even worse at this point in the run. Look for him and Mickelson to be our 2 long-run guys. But long as you can go, I would be shocked if we can go 10 more laps.
Oh, I'm in a complete agreement. That last lap, actually, a second and a half slower
Whoa,
than
so we're
their
getting
best.
there.
So we're really starting to see those wild effects of the tire wear taking lap time, taking seconds away from these cars. Still, though, 8 guys within 3 seconds of the leaders. So I think that this thing is still up in the air, especially if we start to see any contact. Lesko and Applegate, if Applegate can get up there, have a history of rubbing fenders. You like how I didn't say banging?
Yeah, I mean, we wait for the interview to say that type of terminology.
Yes,
but
I can't wait.
Another thing that makes this race even more not over yet at all, me and Gene, is I think we talked early in this race about how we were a little bit surprised, or I was at least, about the lack of line flexibility available to these drivers. That has gone away, whether it be with the old tires or with the rubbering in of the track, or maybe the temperature changing a tiny bit as these guys are going to work around the 43 at Clausen, lap him. But these guys are all using different lines. You're seeing Applegate kind of do a top to bottom, while you see Iverson committed to the bottom, and you see Lesko a little more flexible. Actually, Iverson using the top there, as Clausen does very much so as well. But you are really seeing a lot of line flexibility, which means this racetrack is going to continue to change a lot, which means who is fast now may not be as fast as at the latter half of this race.
Yeah, I'm also seeing tires really start to become an issue. Tom Lester and Jay Stinson were battling. Stinson got loose, almost got into him, and now I see Stinson bringing it down pit road. So the window is open for these boys.
Yeah, it very much is. I'm interested to see who the first to bite on the pits is going to be. My guess, if I was in one of these guys' shoes in the top 5 right now, if I'm Kenneth Redinger, I think the undercut has got to be yours. Oh, Lesko's in. Lesko's in. My apologies.
Going on.
Yes, they are. Let's see if I can get a good view of that for us. There he is. Looks like it's going to be all 4, unsurprisingly. So that's all 42 laps. 42 times 2 is 84. So yeah, these guys go on a very simple two-stopper as of right now. And so no reason to take two, maybe on that last run, but I would still not expect that, Mean Gene. Now I think, we're definitely seeing the avalanche begin. Tony Iverson next up.
All right, Grant Applegate is going to assume the lead after that pit stop by Lesko, so give him some more bonus points, but Kenneth Redinger inches away from him as they cross that start-finish line. Lap 41 complete here today. Applegate, I hear him on the radio. I think he's going to bring it into the pit. At that point, maybe Redinger going to stay out one more lap for the point.
It's going to make things a lot difficult for Redinger in the latter half of this race. I think he's going to lose a lot of track position here. Lucky for him, Owens, Volpis, Parham, Kevin Kyle, phenomenal job by him, have not pit yet. So we'll see. I think he may be coming down. He is. He's going to come down with him. Here we go.
Wow, late draw there.
Very
Good
late.
Run. But look behind him and just how quick.
Wow.
The black and blue of David Owens came in as well. If
well
he
done.
didn't speed, Owens really with a great charge into there. Also, shout out to Parham and Kevin Kyle. All of these guys showing why they have been in the championship for in the past.
Redinger, one you expect to actually be a killer when it comes to that type of stuff, Mean Gene, but that just goes to show how aggressive David Owens is when it comes to pit entry. What an entrance. That was perfect. Looks like he even got in his box better than Redinger did.
Yeah, let's micromanage. Look how Redinger's aimed toward the wall. That'll cost him just a heartbeat.
Great job.
Uses all of the exit, though. That is really good.
It was, and there goes Lesko on camera right there, and that's what one lap will give you, Mean Gene. That's why I said the undercut I thought would be more intriguing.
Well, and you're right, because all of a sudden he is going to get it when they roll around. He's going to be about 4 seconds ahead of Tony Iverson. Meanwhile, Joe Volpis did assume the lead temporarily. Now he's coming down into the pits. We'll see exactly how that's going to affect him. I definitely think Volpis thinking of the win more so. Either that or he's rooting for Nate Lesko to be the winner.
Right.
It's like Lesko, Iverson, or Applegate is who Volpis would like to see win if, of course, it wasn't Volpis himself. Volpis down there in the pits right now getting servicing done on that car. Right side's going up. Lead's going to turn over to the Colonel Sanders, and he's handing out 3 pieces as he leads a lap.
Yeah, 3 pieces is in 33-second laps, Mean Gene.
Yes. Other guys struggling a little bit. Look at Louis coming back onto the track after his pit stop. Jack Sanders finally making the call. Louis going to get back onto the lead lap as Sanders relinquishes the lead. Now we're waiting on Nate Lesko. And Lesko, looky, he is inches behind Buddy Sully. Buddy Sully, one of the racing tyrant guys who's in the round of 8. But this is not the way to advance. Needs a little bit of help.
The season has kind of fallen apart for Buddy Sully in the postseason. A lot of it not his fault. Today, the speed just does not seem to be there, especially in the long run. And this pit cycle going about as bad as it could have for Sully. He came down back on lap 44. Lesko on lap 40. So Buddy Sully ran it very long. So one thing that is a positive is he shouldn't get lapped here. He should be able to run away from Lesko. And if he can't, that car has some bigger problems than just where it is in the pit cycle.
15/100ths of a second faster was Buddy Sully than our leader Nate Lesko that last lap. So you have to think that Sully, with the 4-lap fresher tires, would be able to make quicker lap speeds than Lesko as long as he gets that clean air in front of him. But he will be getting closer and closer to Steve Lewis, who's just about 2 seconds ahead of him. Side-by-side racing going on right there on the screen. You can see Mickelson ripping the rail side-by-side with Kenneth Redinger. Grant Applegate as well. That's the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th as Applegate is going to make that pass. Mickelson is going to make that pass on Redinger. And how about Wyatt going to the outside early in this run, knowing that he's got time to make up, gets a little loose there as he gets into the wake of Applegate. But now is the time. You can't hold anything back. Wyatt did miss last week's race at Pocono, so he didn't get the points that you would expect him to have. with those top fives that he's been getting all year long. Outside lane working for him early. Can he hold this corner? And now with Redinger side by side with Applegate, that's really going to let Mickelson take over the third place position. A second and a half behind Tony Iverson, 4 seconds behind Nate Lesko, but the 51 of Wyatt Mickelson looking really good right now. What a rookie year for Wyatt. 17 starts, 11 top 10s, 4 top 5s. Mickelson still looking for his first win, but this is a driver that has been on fire. Now here comes Redinger to battle back. These three guys, Applegate, Redinger, Mickelson, just giving us a heck of a show here as we have completed our first green flag pit stops. We're on lap 52. Big green the whole time. These boys all racing to lap 68 for stage points.
And like you just said, that does not mean they're not putting on a show. These boys are putting on a show. You can tell how important this race is for guys like Kenneth Redinger and Wyatt Mickelson, and how much is on the line and how much they have to accomplish in this one race. And that cycle for Mickelson going wonderfully, pitting on lap 42. So even on the later end of it, Mean Gene. So that's really a best case scenario for Wyatt there. Looking great, but it's going to be hard for any of these drivers to have anything for Nate Lesko or Tony Iverson unless they can think of something clever.
Yeah, because even if their lap times are just a little bit quicker, the way they're slicing and dicing back there, the tires are going to wear quicker. Looks like they finally have settled their disagreements, and they are able to race now with Redinger leading that small bunch. Last lap, 30.43, actually 0.3 of a second faster was Redinger than Nate Lesko. There now we see Ryan Holla, the 41, moving into the 6th position. This is another fast rookie looking for the first win, and he's back into the lead group after a fantastic pit stop. We saw Holler come in on lap 42, kind of in the middle there, Zach. Not early, not late.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just kind of a mixed bag in terms of the success. And I think a lot of it has to do with what you talk about so often, which is that pit entry and pit exit and really even getting in your box quickly. All those little things are so important. They add up quickly. I think that's why you're seeing guys like Wyatt Mickelson so far up in the field, and guys like Grant Applegate, who pit a lap after Wyatt, so behind him now. So really a lot of mixed bag here in terms of success on pit road. If there's one thing that's going to, I think, really stay intriguing and be super fascinating if we are to stay green here, Mean Gene, and get one more cycle of that told a very, very clear story. You need to be aggressive on pit entry. You need to be risky, or else you're going to lose time. You're not going to make up on track.
Yeah, but how risky do you want to be? I don't want to call anybody. I don't want to call anybody out, but we saw a certain number 51 go from second place to 2 laps down by going a little bit too fast Sunday morning over at Dover. So you're right. That line, it is a tightrope of disaster. Here's Nate Lesko flirting with disaster as he is coming up on Zach Clausen here. Clausen already 2 laps down. Looks like with that pass, it's going to go ahead and go a 3rd lap. Now, 2 laps. He was 1 lap down. Now he's 2 laps.
And Buddy Sully
continue.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Buddy Sully has opened up that gap a little bit to Nate Lesko, so he's not really in danger of getting lapped anymore. But one thing that's a crazy thing you wouldn't expect to say out loud, he is just on speed, the last car in the lead lap.
Yeah, pretty brutal right there. He's chasing down Captain Crunch himself, Steve Lewis. Maybe he can get a little bit of a draft pull to work his way around, but these guys definitely in need of a caution if they want to tighten the track back up with the speed of Nate Lesko out there right now. Meanwhile, back behind Lesko, Iverson and Redinger, we've seen these two battling all day long, and now Wyatt Mickelson also has made his way into that 4th place position, followed by Ryan Holla, who is battling Grant. Ryan on the high line, trying to rip a rail.
Whoa, Ryan Holla, what a move. All around the top, gets Grant Applegate for a top 5 position. Gorgeous stuff from the 41.
9 laps to go before we will award stage points, and Ryan Holla just snuck into the 5th and final position. Of course, the playoff points not going to help Holla, but it's always nice to get another check mark next to your name. And anytime you can beat somebody to the line like a Grant Applegate, you got to feel really good. A little wall rub right there by Ryan Holla cost him some speed. It's still going to stay right at that right quarter panel of Applegate, preventing him from coming all the way up. Let's see.
There it is.
Entry here.
That's a good entry by Holla there. He should have that perfect arc out of here in that run out. Yep, and he really hurt Applegate's air. Great job by Holla there. And you're right, Mean Gene, not racing for a championship right now is Holla, but what he is racing is building blocks for next season. This driver has been knocking on that door of being a championship contender all season, and he's only gotten better race after race. And then look at this here at Las Vegas, showing more speed than Grant Applegate with older tires. Way to go, Ryan Holla.
Yep, 30.80 was the speed of Holla that last lap. Only guy faster than him was his teammate with a 30.79. That is the 51 of Wyatt Mickelson, who is 1 spot ahead of him. Racing drama continuing. Nate Lesko leading this thing pretty much the entire race except for the fuel cycle. But behind him, these guys putting in faster laps. That 4-second lead, that 4.5-second lead of Lesko has now creeped down to 2.85. They pit on 41, so they got about 21 more laps. If this pace continues, they will catch Lesko when it comes time to pit again. So Lesko gonna put that in the database and figure out, will he come in a little earlier? Will he come in later? Because by the end of this run, if these speeds continue, we haven't seen it equal out yet, Zach. They're catching it.
Oh, they are. They're both faster than Lesko is. Redinger really just kind of caught Iverson and then said, let's go, buddy. If you don't want me to pass you, then let's go now. And that's exactly what's happening. Oh, boy. Zach Lawson trying to figure this out right now with these lead lap cars racing hard against each other. David Owens able to get past Applegate as well. So Applegate continuing to fall down the order here. The opposite of what we saw in run 1. Maybe we'll come back around to him as we get to the latter end of this run, but it's kind of getting already there. So we'll have to see what's going on with Applegate here. Looking at his pit data, he has 4 tires. I don't understand where that speed went. We'll have to see if we talked about this race. But yeah, I mean, Gene, look at these two right here. Iverson and Redinger borderline working together to reel in Lesko.
Well, let's do some math. Let's say you pit on 42. That means you pit on 84. That means you make it to 126. And you're 9 laps short.
Yeah, you're all right. This is a weird length. I think most of these drivers use the 125.
Let's go inside with Applegate. Let's see if he's doing some foolishness.
Let's take a look. Let's see. That's a really good point, me and Gene. Gotta get.
He just let David Owens go by too.
He is. Look at you ahead of me. I don't want to say I've trained you well because you've trained me at everything I've ever known, me and Gene. But this is the first time I think you've called out some tomfoolery before I did. He is.
You smelt it.
I did.
You smelled something.
Smelled the apples.
You smelt the apples. You know, do you like apples? Because how about them apples? And that's pretty much what he's doing. And now it makes me wonder about, you know who I'm wondering about now?
Nate Lesko.
Let's take a peek at Nate.
So here we go. And yeah, is Nate actually losing time? Or does he have a bigger plan here? I mean, there's even that big of a lead. You should be saving, right? Let's see. No. And then a downshift into 4th immediately.
Wow.
So pretty high up in those RPMs. No, Nate Lesko's going.
What about Mr. Vulpes?
Let's take a look. Yeah, good one to check. It sounds like he's saving. He's way lower on the RPMs than we just saw Lesko. Let's see here. Clutch.
The clutch.
Oh yeah, and no shifting too. That's a big thing too. No shifting happening here.
So interesting as we see a lot of guys just ripping it and a few other guys already taking strategy into effect to try to get themselves in that position to win. Again, thinking about that playoff picture, 2 drivers have already clinched. Grant Applegate with the win at Pocono last week. Tony Iverson with the win at Auto Club 2 weeks ago. Those two drivers are in. On points, Nate Lesko and Joe Volpus would be the next two guys. But behind them, plenty of fellas still in this chase. Kenneth Redinger, Jay Stinson, and Wyatt Mickelson all on the board to get that win and move forward. So let's see about a Jay Stinson. Is this guy clutching? Curious.
Let's take a look. Jay Stinson chilling out. What position is there? He is in 10th place. Let's see what's going on inside the cockpit of Jay Stinson. My guess is yes, because I know Stinson's pretty good at this too.
Got Kevin Kyle right up his backside.
No,
right
he is not. Maybe because of KK. And I'd assume KK is, knowing KK, right? Let's see. Or is he just having too much fun racing Jay Stinson? No, Kevin Kyle, not downshifting. The only driver we've seen downshift is... Oh, no! We got a wreck, Eugene!
No.
Oh, we're on board with Tony Iverson! And Redinger's in it! And we're still green!
Oh, no. Redinger and Iverson, two of our championship 8, and all of a sudden we see Redinger into the wall, gets caught up with Iverson, and both of them hard into the exterior wall. No caution. We are still green.
Do they have caution?
Redinger, the dream is ended.
It's over. It's over, and in such a dramatic way. Here's the replay again. Iverson putting a little bit of air, packing it on that 42. I don't know. I can't put that on Redinger. I'm not going to put it on Iverson, but I cannot put it on Redinger.
Go to a rear chase. Let's see. Let's go back and let's see how high Iverson ran him up.
Yeah, and I think one thing I want you to look at here, me and Gene, is pay attention to really the trajectory of where Tony's going and where this would put you mentally if you're Kenneth Redinger. So here we are on the middle of 3 and 4, and Tony is loose.
Tony's loose.
Yeah, that front wheel is considerably in front of the rear. Here he is sliding up. If you're ready, you're looking to your left, just saying, stop sliding up, dude, stop. And he's not. He's coming up, and that turn ends quickly. We all know that. Redinger just, I think he felt like he was running out of space, and he almost was, Mean Gene.
He did.
I really cannot put that in the 42. And I can't put it on the 13 either. That's a racing incident if you've ever seen one. And these hits got a lot worse here. Look at this for the 13. I don't know how it went for the 42, but boy, oh boy, was this a big one for the 13. They're going to be synchronized. Boom. Synchronized hits right in the no-no spot.
Where links live.
Exactly. I don't know if you can think of a worse hit. Are they both in the pits now? They are. Absolutely brutal. 2 contenders. But one thing this does open up, Mean Gene, look who that gives second place to.
Wyatt Mickelson, the 51, giving chase. All that dirty air out of his way as he now is 3.3 seconds behind Nate Lesko. Short pit off the table, though, as you're going to need to figure out fuel.
You are, and it's soon. About 10 laps, maybe 15.
So Mickelson last pit on 42. That puts him at 84. That puts him 9 laps short. So he needs to save 4 laps somehow, or 5. So we need to see him come in around 89 or 90. I just don't see that happen.
No, I don't either, and we have not seen any of these drivers save any fuel. I mean, and to compound that, you're seeing Wyatt Mickelson pretty committed to that top line, making this 1.5 mile racetrack exactly that, not shortcutting it anywhere he can. That does not help with gas conservation, but what it may help with is reeling in that 10 Lesko. Wyatt Mickelson has to keep this thing as simple as possible here now, me and Gene. Interesting race here, and not to mention Joseph Volpus having a very poor day, still hanging out in 7th place. Yeah, you're right. He's up to some crap. He's up to something.
He's up to something because he pit on 45. If he makes it to 90, that puts him at 135.
Yeah.
He's the devil.
He is literally the devil, and the worst thing about him is that you don't even know what tricks he's up to right now. And look who he's linked up with. The other guy up to the same stuff. Yep.
Applegate is, but Applegate pit on 43. So he might have figured this out a little bit too late.
Yep.
As he's going to have to somehow pinch out one more lap on this run, and then one more lap than Vulpes after the fact. And if Vulpes pit on 45, that means that's about as much fuel as you can get. That's as much liquid as you can get out of the sponge.
Exactly, and I think Vulpes, he's always so aware of that. He's always racing his own little mini race in his head, knowing who he has to beat. You'd be crazy if you didn't think that Vulpes knows for his strategy, the only car he needs to finish in front of is that 14. That's how he wins this race. So Vulpes putting on all types of pressure in Applegate, trying to really take out all of that advantage that he has and make sure that Applegate has to pay for paying a lap, or for finding this out a lap too late.
Grant Applegate trying to stretch it out. Behind him, Joe Vulpes, who pit on 45. Could make it to 90, could make it to 135. You cut one entire pit stop out of this thing, you're talking about a different class of driver. Ahead of them, the chase continues as Mickelson trying to close that gap. He was 0.2 of a second faster than Nate Lesko last rotation around the circuit.
Oh, Nate's pitting, Eugene.
Nate is bringing it in. Let's see. Now,
really
this
aggressive
is
entry.
A tough one. Based on this strategy, Mickelson needs to come in now.
I'd agree with that. You do not want to let this bleeding get worse, and you don't have the fuel to make it last anyway, so you might as well just try to beat him on speed. You saw Parham falling him down as well. So now Mickelson will get to lead a lap, so that is helpful. Going to get him an extra bonus point by missing last week, though. He's got to win this race. He's got to make whatever decision will get him there. He's not going to pit this lap. If he does, it'll be one of the most dangerous moves I've ever seen. No, he is going to stay on track and lead yet another lap. So Wyatt Mickelson up to something else. Let's go on board with him real quick and see if maybe, just maybe, he's thinking about fuel now. He is not, and I agree with that. It seems far too late. And there is Buddy Sully in front of them. Buddy Sully just not having the speed today. But that's also not going to speed up Wyatt Mickelson. He's going to have to be thinking about this type of thing here, Mean Gene. Doesn't want to have to stay out in dirty air for longer than he has to.
Well, Buddy Sully also pit on 44, so perhaps he's doing the fuel thing. Unknown. Mickelson now coming under attack from David Owens.
Out of nowhere comes David Owens.
Yeah, David Owens, he's out here racing for trophies as well, and now going to cut down. I'm curious about Sully. He pit on 44, so theoretically he could also be in that fuel-saving mode. We'll see if he can make it to around 89. If he can get to 89, I think he's in the running to push this thing to a two-stopper.
Well, here is Sully giving us a great view of that David Owens and Wyatt Mickelson battle, so we can kill two birds right now and see if he's saving gas. Didn't seem that way through 3 and 4 as Wyatt Mickelson brings it into the pits, Mean Gene, as does Ryan Holla. And here is Buddy Sully into 1 and 2, and he does not save any fuel, so Buddy Sully just not seeming to have it figured out here today. But Wyatt Mickelson in the pits. Is too possible? Is anything here possible? And as he gets to see right in front of him, the carcasses of the 42 and the 13. So Mickelson in the pits here. Looks like this is going to be a 4-tire pit stop for Mickelson Holla as well. So Mickelson keeping it simple. In and out of his pits very, very easily. We see a 3-wide action above them. That's involving Nate Lesko.
Nate Lesko now involved in a little 3-wide action. Does zip around the outside of Grant Applegate. They're still waiting for Applegate and Owens to come in and take tires.
It's going to be a while for Applegate.
As Vulpes Gambrel as well on this long run strategy. And here comes David Owens.
Yep. That's a good looking race car.
I don't think that's far enough. Little update. We're waiting on Tony Iverson to come out of the infield care center. We've got reporter down there waiting. So once Iverson gets out of that infield care center, we're going to play 20 questions.
Yeah.
I got a mag light I want to put in his eyeball.
Just stay there, Jamie. Wait.
Yeah, you know what to do. Jamie Little making it happen. Actually, maybe we can put Natalie Decker down there. I hear she might be free.
Mean. Too soon.
Mean Gene, baby. Grant Applegate now.
Oh, side by side.
With Vulpes right now. These are the two guys in the lead, theoretically, and they could be looking at what might be their final pit stop. Vulpes able to drop the hammer a little bit more. This is lap number 88.
Can you go about 10 more?
I would think if he can make 2 more, he's gold.
Okay, so 2 more. Yeah, you're right. 45 is doable. So yeah, 2 more and mission accomplished, right?
Same thing for Applegate. If Applegate could even pit this lap, and he would be okay because he's proven that he can stretch it out to this point.
And Mean Gene, look at this. This is probably our easiest opportunity here to do math. He is 28 seconds in front of Nate Lesko. Your average pit time total, including coming down, all the whole thing, 45 seconds. Joseph Volpus is going to win this race if we stay green.
Well, Applegate might have something to say.
Yeah, he may, but it's these two.
All right, here's Buddy Sully going to bring it down here on 89. So
Sully
Buddy will be able.
Yeah, he one-stopped it.
That looks like Gambrel will also.
So, wow, this might end up to being a nightmare for guys like Lesko and maybe even Mickelson.
Look, Jack Sanders back there on the same kind of strat as well. Sanders is 13th, a lap down, or 2 laps down. But hey, take out that one pit stop, he'll jump some people.
Same with Clausen. Looks like he made it into a one-stopper. Here comes Applegate. Here comes Volpus. Together.
Volpus almost got loose. That was scary.
Oh, look at this. They know what's at stake here. This is going to be the biggest pit stop of their entire season, Volpus especially.
Yep. Joe needing a win or a Lesko victory. Applegate could win. He'd be fine with that. Iverson and Redding are out of it. All eyes pretty much on Mickelson and Jay Stinson as far as getting the win that could give them the golden ticket and knock Joe Volpus out of it. But best way for Volpus to advance, just win, get your own golden ticket, and everything will be great in Kentucky in 2 short weeks. There
Applegate
goes Mickelson
coming out, and here comes, Volpus with an exceptional pit stop. Far better than Applegate. We've talked about Applegate having those problems today. Happens again. Joseph Volpus perfectly executes that one. Tires are even, enough fuel to finish the race. Joseph Volpus in position to potentially win this race if we were to stay green. And there he goes in front of Buddy Sully, and there is Redinger back on track. 12 laps
now
down.
Let's see here. Lesko pit on 81. There's no way that he's going to run 55 laps in this car.
No way.
So he's just got to go as fast as he can and see what he can do with it. Meanwhile, behind him, Justin Parham has taken over second place.
The undercut.
Wyatt Mickelson with that later pit, 3 laps later, then Lesko loses almost 4 seconds in that exchange. So just those 2 laps and the drive through the pits cost Mickelson another 4. So he's going to need a great deal of help if he's going to get up to Lesko. Justin Parham, who's on the same strat as Lesko, finds himself 4.5 seconds back. So the guys on the 3 fuel pit stop, they're top 3 guys looking good. First guy that might stretch it, though, look at David Owens.
86. Now let's go in the cockpit.
Needs 49 laps.
He's not trying to save me and Gene. So you'd think you'd have to be at it by now. You'd have to be at it by now. Yeah. And man, what's so interesting to me about the next gen is the power of the undercut. It is so inconsistent. We've seen 1.5 miles, similar to Las Vegas, have no power with the undercut, right? We've seen the undercut be useless to the point where it's like, do you even take 4? Come to Vegas, one of the most simple cookie cutter 1.5 miles, and the undercut is everything. Justin Parham getting a big lead over Mickelson, but again, me and Gene, those tires wearing, Mickelson has reeled him in.
Yeah, he got that thing down to 2.65 seconds. Also, Mickelson has the lead down to 6.7 between he and Lesko, as he's about 1/10 of a second faster than Lesko each lap. But he's going to need to push it a little bit more. I think he's going to have to rip that outside lane again if he wants to get something done. Now, let's talk about the guys on their own special strategy, trying to push it from 2. The first one you got to look at is Joe Volpus in 7th. He's got a 0.3 of a second lead over Grant Applegate. Behind them, the next one would be Eric Gambrel, but Gambrel is 17 seconds behind
and a lap down
and Applegate. So kind of a harder spot there for him to close the gap. So if this strat is going to work, Volpus and Applegate seem to be the 2 that are making the best out of it. And here we go. Gambrel chasing down our leader, wants to go by, get back his lap the old-fashioned way. And this is very important because if there is a late caution, that lucky dog is not going to have the opportunity to get all tires and be up front with the leaders. He's in the back behind the lap guys. So you know that Mr. Presidente wants to zip on by and have that freedom to get tires and fuel and be with the lead group. 9 cars on the lead lap as we see Gambrill trying to sneak on by. Behind them, the battle continuing with Applegate and the boys. Applegate looked like he scuffed the wall a little bit. No surprise from that driver.
No, not really. You see Volpus actually now trying to make a pass on Jay Stinson here for 6th place. Trying to work on him. Gonna have to multitask because you know Volpus is using that clutch too. And he has to keep Applegate behind him. So important. That's why he has to make this pass here on Stinson. Can't just hang out behind him. And here he goes. Look at how much more Volpus is prioritizing keeping that 14 behind him than he is anything else.
Yes,
oh, no!
And there it is. And Applegate touches Stinson. They keep it straight. But, ooh, that was a tough pass right there with a lot of contact. Volpus now next. Closing in on the 29 of Kevin Kyle. Looks like Kyle's just going to stay high, does not want to get involved. That track position, though. Oh, and look at him give it up. He definitely let off the throttle, trying to give Volpus that top lane. Volpus choosing to stay low to impede Applegate's progress.
Then you've seen it, Kevin Kyle and Applegate have their fair share of issues, so I don't think he'll make it as easy if he can help it. But KK on a completely different strategy.
There on that outside. That was about a perfect.
Oh, yeah.
That was about a perfect opportunity to say, I'm not getting involved, but you can't come up here.
Exactly. And Kevin Kyle is in a very different situation than everybody around him. He picked back on lap 74. So it's worked out really well for track position. It's starting to bleed pretty badly now. No matter what, Kevin Kyle's going to have to pit again, likely or more likely than not, very soon. But this could work out for him, especially if we were to stay green. I think I could even see him finishing in front of guys like Lesko if they have to pit again. So Kevin Kyle has done a great job with that poor qualifying effort, able to work throughout the field, never had a caution to help him out. And now was up as far as the top 5, and now has a nice gap of 6 seconds back to Holler for 9th.
You want to hear ridiculousness? Fastest car on the track last lap, Joe Volpus.
Oh, my God. While using the clutch, I think. Let's see. Yeah, while using the clutch. You'd have to think Lesko's using the clutch now, right? No, he's not. He's in 4th gear.
He ain't going to make it. But he's been out there since lap 81, so he's got 21 laps on those tires. So that you see the 30.99. That is right at about 1.4 seconds. So that's almost max tire wear as far as the slower lap speed. So Lesko already feeling the effects of the worn out tires here 22 laps into the run. Looks like Tom Lester going to be the first guy to come down. So he is short pitting. This will be his final stop as he was on the 3-stop strategy. So he's your first 3-stop guy. Going to bring it down. That's Lester back in 15th spot. He is a lap down to see how it works out. And
here
looks
comes Iverson.
Iverson coming out into the track. He is in DFL. And let's keep an eye on that 13 because I would imagine he has a priority list of drivers he would like to see win this thing. But now is not the time to pick up a penalty. So hopefully
no, it's
that
not.
13 will stay clean.
Yeah, surprise.
The next race is Kentucky. I'd park it. I wouldn't even risk it, dude.
Literally what I was about to say. Surprised he's even out here. It is his home track. Maybe just really wanted to be out here as Kevin Kyle going to bring it down as we predicted for that last stop. That was inevitable. A caution would have been huge for KK there, but did not happen. We'll see where he cycles out. Really interesting strategy from him today. Don't hate it at all, especially from where he was.
Kevin Kyle now going to be the second of the 3 stoppers to come down and get fuel, but he was the one that stayed on the lead lap throughout. Of course, he is going to go down a lap as Lesko brings it around. Lesko in the lead, 3.95 seconds ahead of Justin Parham.
Iverson right behind him.
6.5 seconds ahead of Wyatt Mickelson. Here comes Tony Iverson very fast towards the rear bumper of Nate Lesko.
Got those fresh tires. Nate Lesko, he knows what's good for him. He tries to make this as quick as possible and as painless as possible. Tony Iverson probably in no mood to wait. Gonna look to see where Lesko takes that. Number 10, Lesko goes low. That's where Iverson's gonna want to be. Oh boy, Mean Gene. There we go. Let's
Wow.
go grazes the wall a little bit, though. Didn't love that, I'm sure.
No, but what are you going to do? You got a faster car than you choosing to be under bottom left of you going into the turn.
Exactly.
He's just kind of hiding there, waving at you. So no contact, but man, he was in the Kyle Lynott position, if you know what I mean.
He was. As Owen's going to bring down the pits, Mean Gene. So Owen's first to bite.
All right, so Owens again matching Kevin Kyle, matching Tom Lester to come down, take field. This is the 3-stop gang. Up front, Lesko gonna have to come down for fuel, no doubt. Will Parham and Mickelson. And then Joe Vulpes continuing to be the fastest car on the track that didn't come down and take that 3rd pit stop. Tom Lester, fastest, but again, he came and took 4 tires back on lap number 100. So the guys with the 3 pit stops, though, if there's a caution, they'd feel good, right?
Yeah, and I was just thinking, if you're one of those guys who, no matter what, knows you're going to have to pit another time, if you're not a Joe Vulpes and not a Grant Applegate, how do you do it? Well, there's 2 ways, in my opinion. One is the way that Owens just did it. You come in early, on the earlier side, you split the run directly in half, which is exactly what he just did, 25 laps, both ends of it, and you take advantage of those 4 fresh tires, which is, actually, Owens looks to have only taken...
he just fueled it.
Just fuel, so he did that early, maybe for clear track. That isn't what I would do, Mean Gene.
No.
What I would have done, what I would have done there is have taken 4 tires, at least 2, probably 4, and then take advantage of how big that undercut has been, and you're getting to it 10, 20 laps early. But then the inverse of that is what I think Nate Lesko is going to do. And what Nate Lesko I think is going to do is I think Parham is pitting now, yes he is just a splash, just like what we saw Owens do. But if you can make this thing go 10 more laps, if you only need to run 15 more laps, you can take 1, 2, maybe even 3 seconds off of that pit stop because you need less fuel. That's why I don't understand what David Owens just did.
All right, I am caught my eye on Justin Parham. Parham into the
2
pit.
tires
right
so far.
Going on.
Let's see if he goes all 4. My guess this early, I think 4, and I'd love to see someone do it. Yep, we're going to go 4 for Parham.
Lesko going to put him a lap down. Lesko's lead over Mickelson down to 5.5 seconds. They did match each other's lap time, but Mickelson had a much faster lap 110. 111, though, he and Lesko on the same speed. We're on lap number 112.
Oh, no, Mean Gene.
Scheduled 135.
Parham is sped. Parham sped.
Oh, no.
He has been in the pits for 41 seconds now and counting. We'll see him go in about 5 seconds time, but that will end Justin Parham's chance at this win.
Justin Parham finding himself in the pits with that extended pit stop.
There he
Cannot
goes.
be happy.
Brutal.
Keeping an eye on the leader, Nate Lesko. He last pit on 81. Took 4 tires, but again, he is 42 laps into this run. Gonna need fuel at any moment. Still 23 laps, 22 at the line. Lesko does lead lap number 114.
He's led like every
Mickelson
freaking lap.
behind him, giving chase. Little bit faster, 0.3 of a second faster. That lap was Mickelson. Still got that lead at about 5.3 seconds. Joe Vulpes in 3rd now, thinking he can push his luck all the way to the end of the race on fuel. Now pushing his lead over Applegate to 0.7 of a second. So Vulpes has done what he needed to do. He got in and out of the pits quicker than Applegate, held on to that lead, and now basically just playing the fuel game.
It's still fast. He's still so
He
fast.
can make it to he is. Maybe he's been taking lessons from Jason Landry on how to clutch and pop.
Maybe. This is one of those tracks where if you know how to do it, you can really not give away or give up too much time, as we're seeing from Vulpes. What a masterclass of fuel saving this has been. And if this thing stays green, it's working out perfect for him. Mickelson has nothing for Lesko right now. No one has all day. This one will be painful for Lesko if it continues the way it does.
All right, you want a fun alert?
What's up?
David Owens with no fresh tires
Is so fast.
is only 6 seconds ahead of Kevin Kyle, who took 4.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That's only a matter of
Fun
time.
alert.
And then
fun alert.
Stinson would have been so interesting. There he is, still on the lead lap somehow. Actually, one lap down. I'm sorry, only 6 cars in the lead lap right now. But yeah, that brutal situation for Stinson. But that will be fun soon. I cannot wait for that. Owen's putting out some heater of laps right now, though. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's doing his best there with those older tires. Last lap 30.87. Fastest lap looks like Jay Stinson with a 29.98. We can see Justin Parham did a 29.96. And so still a lot of speed out there for the guys that took the 4 tires, but basically now we're on fuel alert, staring at people's gas meters as they bring it around and the ticker just counting down. We're looking at Wyatt Mickelson, one of the quickest cars out there. Definitely going to need another pit stop, but he and Lesko hoping that perhaps a caution might come out, giving them the opportunity to take 4 freshies and fuel and be in contention on a final run to race with Vulpes and Applegate. Those two, though, the 98 of Joe Vulpes, the 14 of Grant Applegate, both playing the fuel strategy from the very beginning and find themselves in a very advantageous position to win on fuel strat. Lesko and Mickelson still trying to battle it out. Lesko has pushed the lead a little bit further over Mickelson. He's got it at 6 seconds. Now you can see lap traffic starting to come into the picture once again. Only 6 cars on the lead lap. Lesko about to catch Eric Gambrell and would put Gambrell down. Gambrell did take fuel on lap number 90, just the same as Vulpes and Applegate, but finds himself much further back in the pack as he is 20 seconds behind Vulpes. But there he is about to go a lap down to Lesko as he is trying to push this thing.
Yeah, pretty amazing how much this race can get stretched out when you see it go completely caution-free. 6 seconds back from the lead, then 10 again as Vulpes and Applegate have just been keeping each other so honest. But then, yeah, full 18 seconds until you find Ryan Holla. So when all is said and done, we could end up with less than 5 cars in the lead lap here. And that says just so much more about the execution of the top drivers in this race.
I think when it's all said and done, we're going to see 3.
Yeah, I think you may be right. I think it's going to be Vulpes,
Applegate, Gambrell.
Yeah, I think you're right. Which is crazy to think. As Lesko
Here it is.
Oh,
Here it is.
Did he light up the radio? Is it this lap?
Yep.
Yeah, he's on the bottom. So here comes a splash and get the hell out of here. But it's, oh man, that caution need to happen, Mean Gene. It's only 10 seconds back to Vulpes.
Yep. Gonna turn it over, and here comes Mickelson. He's matching Lesko.
Oh.
And that's gonna turn the lead over to Vulpes.
Joseph Vulpes, 13 laps to go.
6 cars on the lead lap.
About to be less.
Once this happens, and here comes David Owens ripping the rail. He wants to get by Joe Vulpes.
Yeah, Owens gonna do everything he can. He gets in between Applegate and Owens. Interesting there how that will play out. A current teammate and a past teammate there for David Owens. We'll see who he prioritizes as Mickelson in the pit still. And it looks like Lesko exiting now. Here comes Lesko back on track, but oh man, all the way back in 4th place now, 25 seconds behind. Luckily, he won't be too far back in the running order, but man, when you lead 100 plus laps, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, Ryan Holler also in the pit. Looks like Mickelson went too far and had to back up.
Yeah, it looks like he lost quite a bit of time.
Yeah, and he took right side.
Mm.
So
don't fully understand that.
Kind of hoping for.
I guess a caution, then you don't come down.
Yeah, he's kind of hoping for that caution. And meanwhile, oh look, they're loose. Mickelson takes the air off of Guerin.
Oh boy, Bass Pro Shop on Bass Pro Shop violence here, Mean Gene.
Oh, who's going to track who?
Who's the elite fish here? It appears to be White. Does Applegate have anything for Joseph Vulpes? That seems to be the question. But David Owens acting as kind of a roadblock is not going to help.
No, he is a tyrant. He is a racing tyrant, though, so one would think he's trying to pull Applegate. I think to help him better, you get behind him and push him, right?
Right? You'd think, and he is giving that clean air through the corner, so maybe that's what they're trying to do. Right, he does. He has no tires. As let's see, Applegate, he's still clutching, so you know these guys still think about fuel. One thing that has to be talked about is they should be able to make it no problem, but you know they had to go a little bit harder this run to stay in front of one another. Hopefully they can. 9 to go.
Yeah. Eric Gambrell also on this fuel straving strategy, but look at that. He is going to give up the position to Nate Lesko.
Yeah.
Lesko with the splash and go. Going to sneak on by, get back into third. So as far as points go, Lesko, if he can finish here, would be in a good position to move into the Final Four in Atlanta in 2 weeks. Vulpes going for that win. If Vulpes runs out of fuel, he turns it over to Applegate. And that would still put Vulpes in.
Yeah, as long as he finishes the race.
Yep. Because you got to go down to Mickelson in 6th, and that's just not enough points for Mickelson. Mickelson needed the win. Mickelson now is going to move into 5th as he sneaks by David Owens.
Yeah.
And Grant Applegate. He's charging, baby.
He's going hard. These guys about a second faster a lap than that of Vulpes, but they need about 15, 16 more laps to make that worth anything. As Vulpes still putting up pretty impressive lap times for his situation, as is Applegate. These guys right in the bottom end of the 31s, while guys like Lesko are, oh boy, it's same thing right now.
All right, so yeah, Mickelson gets back on the lead lap, so I was wrong. Five guys, nothing.
Yeah, well, you never know. Things could change. As Mickelson has done everything he could today, me and Gene, he really just gave it his all, and he focused so much just on raw speed, which is, I always prefer that too. Let me just give this everything I have and let the cards fall where they do. I am the opposite of a Joseph Vulpes, because I feel like whenever I try to be like Vulpes, I don't get an all-green race, but it hurts to watch it with Mickelson. Wish he was here last week, because I think he'd be in a position to have pointed his way into this thing. But what a good valiant effort. What a great rookie season.
Yeah, agree. Really good run by both Mickelson and his teammate, Ryan Holla. Holla running in 11th at the moment, as he did have to come in for that third pit stop. Little splash and go. Wow, Joe Vulpes, 5 laps to go. Should be able to make it based on what he did the first two gas tanks of this race. Here on the third tank after only 2 pit stops. Vulpes in a, again, mired, one might say, in a tough season for Joe Vulpes. 18 starts, 10 top 10s, 5 top 5s, only 1 win, 1 stage win, 1 pole on the year. Not indicative of the success he's had in some of those other leagues.
No, it was not, and this thing isn't quite over yet. Last lap, a 10th slower than Applegate, the one that just happened, 2/10 slower. Going to be 3 to go this time around. If Applegate can continue to replicate that, he will have a chance at it, but will he run himself out of fuel in the process? Regardless, Vulpes has done what he has to do. And what's been a very dominant season elsewhere, where we've seen kind of a Joseph Vulpes that we, I guess you could say, weren't used to, just controlling, dominating races. This is the type of win that I'm used to seeing from Joseph Vulpes. It's funny that he's going to find his way back here on Mondays with a classic, vintage Joseph Vulpes win if he can pull this one off. 3 to go, 4/10 of a second lead here on Applegate.
Vintage Vulpes, I love it. Now, you know, he is still racing on that 16-inch monitor, but, you know, he does have new pedals and a new wheel. So he's finding that speed. We just got to keep him. Don't anybody give him $300 to get on an Oculus. We don't need that.
No, we do not. Well, maybe if it has the errors that it does with the Jose Medina, we need it. But yeah, not if it's going to operate properly. As that was a fantastic lap from Vulpes. He got those 2/10s back over Applegate. Applegate kind of struggling on the exit of these corners, and the way that Vulpes isn't, that thing is just on rails, me and Gene.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Going to take that white flag, and on the completion of this lap, Vulpes bringing it out of 4, looking smooth. Hopefully got enough fuel left in there. Takes that white flag. He is only 15 brief seconds away from claiming a victory. It would be his 2nd win on the year, 1st in the playoffs. We were talking about Joe might be at danger on points if somebody else wins. Joe said, shut your mouth. I'm going to take the win. Here comes Applegate with a hard charge at the end, brings it up high, but no sirree, Bob. It's going to be the 98 Joe Volpus going to take the win here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway Championship material.
What a win by Volpus. He may not have enough gas to do burnouts, but who cares? What a better time, I don't think there is a better time to capture your second win of the season, your first of the playoffs, besides right before we go race for a championship, which now Volpus, no questions asked, will be racing for said championship. What a drive, and like we said, vintage Volpus.
Right here, right now, this guy making a statement that you cannot forget. He's got the skill and the ability. He's got the track record at Kentucky as well to throw up a strong challenge. 2 short weeks away. We will be off next week for the meetup at Charlotte. If you're going to go to Charlotte, boys and girls, send us a message, because you could meet Joe Volpus. You could meet John Beverly. Lots of drivers going to meet up there. So we are off next Monday because of the Charlotte race. And then, of course, at Kentucky in just 2 short weeks, the Final Four is set. Grant Applegate having another magical postseason versus Tony Iverson. This guy's been in so many Final Fours. Could this be the year for the Undertaker to push his way up and get that championship belt around his waist? Challenging those two, though, Joe Volpus. This guy's got a couple of championships to his name. Looking for another one. Will Mr. Consistency, Joe Volpus, be able to come through in the clutch at Kentucky once again? And then Rookie of the Year, regular season champion Nate Lesko, the number 10. This guy came out of nowhere, laid down those wins, and every time he wins, he's banging with Applegate, and see, I did it. And every time Applegate wins, he is rubbing Lesko. That doesn't sound any better.
Nope.
But the Final Four is locked in for Kentucky in just 2 short weeks. Zach, I'm pumped. I kind of wish we were there already, but I got to watch Joey Logano wreck 2 more times before we get there.
Yeah, you do. I cannot wait, me and Gene. It's going to be so much fun. Both
for the record, the championship.
Yeah.
Both.
Yep, exactly. Both Monday nights coming down to the wire here. They're going to be ending similar time. But yeah, but both leagues will be off next Monday, both the ARCA and this Cup Series here. But boy, oh boy, what a Final Four we have here. Not one that you could have probably convinced me that we would have had, just with how many great racers we've seen all year, how many different combinations we could have had. But man, this thing is stacked. Applegate, Volpus, Iverson, Lesko. It is anyone's game 2 weeks from now.
Remember, last year, Grant Applegate won at Kentucky, and he dominated. He led 93 laps to win and take his first championship in his rookie year. But let's not forget, Joe Volpus was just 4 short seconds behind him. So Volpus was right in the middle of that mix. Tony Iverson caught up in early calamity and wrecked out. Nate Lesko wasn't part of the lead yet. So we've seen Volpus win and run great here. We've seen Iverson run good here. We've seen Lesko win on similar tracks. But, man, we saw Applegate dominate. So hopefully over the next 2 weeks, all these guys going to get plenty of practice, and I expect to see some smoking lap times. Let's break down what happened tonight, though. Let's pull up those final results.
Oh, let's do it. A lot happened.
Get a bit of love and hugs to what we just saw go out. Of course, congratulations to Joe Volpus, as he is tonight's winner and makes his way into the championship. For second place, Grant Applegate, another championship driver. Third on the podium, Nate Lesko. He will be the 4th man in, as he is the one that does it on points. 3 winners in the 3 round of 8 drivers. And then Nate Lesko, who had the most points coming in. Fourth place tonight, Wyatt Mickelson. What a great season for Wyatt Mickelson. Again, finding himself right on the edge of greatness. I mean, yeah, if Iverson didn't get that win at Auto Club, if Mickelson ran it Pocono, this could be an entirely different conversation. But there it is. It is what it is, but still great season there by the 51. Eric Gambrell going to bring it home in 5th. The Menace getting it done once again. I know he went to the race last weekend, so good for him as he saw that All-Star race. Yeah.
That was something.
Yeah, it was. David Owen's going to come home 6th. Jay Stinson, playoff run ends, but good 7th place run there by Grandstand Racing driver. Kevin Kyle comes back for a top 10.
Nice.
Buddy Sully comes home in 9th. Didn't have quite the fuel strategy speed that he needed. And the good captain coming home in 10th. Congratulations to Steve Lewis.
Yeah, great run there by Louie. And then Ryan Hollow, who we saw hanging out in the top 5 so much today, I think just ended up on the wrong side of strategy. Winds up 11th. Brandon Guerin, really quiet race today, but a really exceptional one nonetheless. Started all the way in the rear, last place, and works up his way up to 12th, only 2 laps down. Great job by him. Justin Parham, pit road, Mean Gene, you know all about that. And Justin Parham gets a wee-woo speeding penalty, and that costs him 2 laps in a top 10 finish. He winds up at 13th. Jack Sanders saw him lead a lap today, but by virtue of doing that on being one of those overcut drivers, really having to pay the price for that on the latter end of it, he ends up 14th. Zach Clausen, great job. Really looked like he was having some struggles early on in this race, but able to keep that car clean, winds up 15th. Good job from him. Tom Lester in 16th, and then Kenneth Redinger looked like he potentially had race-winning speed today, but caught up in an incident with Tony Iverson, winds up 15 laps down, and the championship dream falls just 1 race short. Jay Darger will wind up in 18th place. We saw him in an early incident in this race. Then Tony Iverson collected with Redinger in that early race incident. He will be 30 laps down, but he doesn't worry about that because he punched his ticket last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say.
Yep. So the field of 4 is set for Kentucky in 2 short weeks, but hey, he's done doing the burnouts with no fuel. Let's bring him up into the window. Today's winner and final 4 championship driver, Joe Volpus. You got Mean Gene Zach in the booth. You got us, bud.
Yo.
Well, we started the broadcast saying, oh, Joe's in trouble. Oh, Joe's on the bubble. Oh, if somebody not Joe wins, how'd that make you feel, pal?
We talked about it last week. It was just if somebody new behind me won, that was going to be the only concern tonight because the way the points were. So I wasn't really too concerned with the whole point situation. It was just seeing where everybody ended up, and then just how the race was going to play out from there.
Now, my partner here called it
Vintage Volpus.
Yeah, vintage Volpus with the strategy, using the big brain to beat people out there. How did you know coming into this thing you were going to push it to 45? Had you made practice runs before, or are you just kind of working it on the fly to make sure you get to that lap number?
At the start of the race, the fuel went down. It was like projected like 38 laps. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to drive the car, and whatever happens. But the line I was running, I got it to where, like, I wasn't even trying to save fuel. I was just trying to mind my tires and everything. And it got back to like 43 and a half with like, I don't know, probably like 25 laps into the race. So I'm like, all right, I just got to save a lap and a half. And I haven't been trying to save at all in this race so far. So it should be pretty easy to save what I need to. And then, like, if I need to save an extra lap next run, so then the last run I can go hard, then that'll be perfect. But I did something not very vintage, and I missed my pit stall on the first pit stop. And I God knows how many seconds. I have at least 4 or 5 seconds there, because I think I came in like 5 or 6 seconds ahead of Gambrell, and I came out a second in front of him. So I'm like, okay, well, now I'm going to have to try and fight my way back through the field. And it just so happened that Grant got enough of an advantage to where he was able to stick with me and keep me honest on the last run with the whole fuel stuff.
Now let's talk about the second run, though. You come in, Grant Applegate quickly picks up on what you're putting down and decides to join you and into that extension. He really closed the gap on you going into the pit. That was a very smooth second pit, though.
Yeah. One of the main things that I try not to do here is try and make sure I don't either A, spin on the entrance, or B, don't speed. So I definitely took it easy into the
No cussing on the broadcast.
into the line.
Don't use that 5-letter word, dude.
I didn't want to get a speeding penalty, so I wanted to make sure. So I'm serious though. Like I can't risk my whole race trying to make sure I stay in front. Like if he got around me there, so be it. I just have to make sure I'm doing what I need to stay where I need to be and maybe in position to either win the race, which is what it seemed like at that point. Which if he went green, it's like, all right, can Grant do what he did last time and stay with me? And he was able to keep me honest there on the last run. I wish I had a couple little extra fuel to do a proper burnout, but I had to use up all the fuel to stay in front of him there at the end of the race. And I mean, I have nobody to blame for myself for not being further forward when it came to the end of the race. So I mean, I guess I'm proud that I was able to overcome my own stupidity, but
shouldn't have been that close.
No, I shouldn't. I should have been not, because man, if he watches these, man, I'm sorry, but David Buell at Vegas in Bonfire, I got wrecked out early in the race, so I was just crew chief for the rest of him being his cheerleader and everything. And he missed his pit stall on his last pit stop, and it cost him a chance to win the race. And then I go out and do that on the first stop today. I'm like, the only thing I thought about was like, man, this is exactly what I told Buell not to do, and now I've made the mistake that I'm like, don't do. And I felt pretty dumb, but it worked out. So
Siri, text David. Well, I'll tell you, funny thing is, with 22 laps to go, you and Grant were putting up faster lap times than everybody else. So even though you're pushing it, you got old tires and you're trying to save fuel at that point in the game, they were not saving. They knew they were going to pit, but you guys still were putting up faster lap times than they were, basically on the same sets of tires. So it was very impressive to see what you and Grant were able to do at that point. And yes, Zach, what do you think? I mean, that pit stop was for the race.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And yeah, I mean, I think you had to have felt a certain way, Joe, when you do that, or when you see Lesko coming for that last pit stop. And yeah, like me and you were just saying, your laps were mirroring his. You were only 10 seconds behind him, with the average time being spent on pit road being about 45 seconds. So man, that had to have been a good feeling.
Yeah, I just kind of wish I was a little bit closer, because I know how people don't like fuel mileage racing sort of stuff, so I kind of wanted to make sure I kind of shut that down and was as far out as I should have been, but I make my own mistakes, so whatever. Yeah, the one thing though there with that last run was, even if Grant got me, I knew I would be fine, because the only person I was really worried about on the second run was Mickelson. And if there was a caution that came out, because everybody else pitted, Mickelson was in second. There was like 4 of us on the lead lap. So that was when I was like the most concerned, I'd say. Because if Mickelson won, then of course he would have, jumped me, and Lesko got the pole and I think won the stage. So he would have, he would have easily outpointed me in any scenario. So that was probably the weakest moment of the race. It wasn't making sure I beat Applegate. It was making sure something didn't happen, which is completely out of my control. And if Mickelson was able to take advantage of it, but I got blessed that there were no cautions for a change.
Yes, sir. Green flag racing here the whole way. Well, Joe, congratulations. You are in the Final Four. Kentucky in just 2 short weeks. What is the game plan to prep? We saw Applegate dominate at Kentucky last year. You did come home just in third, only 4 seconds behind him. How are you going to make up those 4 seconds? What is the strategy? What is the prep for Joe Volpus going into Championship Kentucky?
I don't know, because last season I did a lot of prep. Even though I wasn't in the championship 4, I was helping out. I was helping out one of the other championship 4 contenders, with some practice on a Sunday morning. So I got a lot of practice time in for that race myself, and even still, I wasn't fast enough to. Yeah, I think you said I finished third. I think I finished third behind Sean Walden. I think he finished second, if I'm not mistaken. I think he might have gotten me at the end. It's either him or Colin. I can't remember which one it was. Got me at the end, and yeah, my tires. I don't know. I thought I had it down pat, and Grant just had an extra something that I didn't have. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe the car's changed a little bit since then, and that'll play into my advantage, but I'm not so certain.
Yeah, we're going to find out. You got 2 weeks to take the
nice part about
opportunities and yeah, figure out exactly how it's going to work. Joe, we're going to let you go. Congrats on the win tonight. Second win of the year, first win of the playoffs, and now you are ready to throw down in Kentucky in just 2 short weeks. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. It's great to have you guys doing the broadcast as always. Shout out to everyone that shows up every week. Shout out to the team members. I think Gambrel got a top 5 out of that, so nice job on his part. Louis got a top 10, so that's nice too. Brandon was 12th. Looks like Sanders and Clausen rounded out the top 15, so nice job by everybody on the team to make sure they were able to get out there, finish the race, log those laps, do the best they could with the situation of tonight's race for pit strategy and everything. They definitely poured their hearts into it, so shout out to all of them, and shout out to John, who I hope starts feeling better, able to come back and race in 2 weeks.
Joe talking, of course, about the commissioner, John Beverly. Could not miss, a little under the weather tonight. Hope you feel better soon, sir. Joe, congratulations, and we'll see you tomorrow night as we're back in the booth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Party time. We'll have a party up here. Make sure you wear shoes this time. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Vulpes, winner of tonight's Las Vegas race and Final Four contender. See you tomorrow, buddy.
Thanks.
What a great race, man. Vintage Vulpes. But then he threw down those fast laps, too. So it just all coming together. I really cannot wait to see the shootout. I mean, but it's going to be a wild one. You got Lesko, you got Applegate, you got Vulpes, and then you got the wild card of Tony Iverson, who straight up checkers or wreckers, man.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a wild Final Four. So many different personalities, few teams in common, but I don't think that's going to matter when we get there to Kentucky in 2 weeks. I cannot wait.
All right, let's see if we can hunt down. Oh, he's way up there. Look at that guy way up there. and he's showing the live videos to people.
Oh, God, so that's always good.
Yeah, I'm going to just break this up right here.
Break it up.
Grant Applegate, you got Mean Gene Zach in the booth, man. Can you hear us, buddy?
I mean, I guess.
I love it. He was showing a live video. And we broke him up.
Yeah, we pulled you out of there, Grant. It wasn't important, whatever it was, Grant. How you doing today, man? Great run today. Really, really close there at the end. It looked like you and Vulpes, the only ones who thought ahead about the fuel situation. When did you decide to make that your game plan?
When I drove from 16th to 3rd and realized I was only 2 laps short and I hadn't saved it all.
Very, very nice. That first run was nasty. What were you doing there? That was, first of all, I think you didn't qualify, if I'm not mistaken. I think we didn't even see you put in any practice laps. So is that why you decided to kind of just feel it out as the race went? And yeah, tell me how this race kind of progressed for you as you worked your way all the way through the field, making passes that looked very difficult elsewhere, and then looked like to have an opportunity to win the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, Vegas is like one of the easiest tracks we go to. The cars are super tight unless you get a really, really hot, like 120, 130 degree track temp, which it was in the night in the desert. It was not hot at all. So I mean, I know how to run the track. Practice laps aren't going to help me do anything when it comes to that. And then just was using the bathroom, and there was like 2 minutes left in qualifying. I was like, I was only going to be 16th, so I was like, I'll just start 16th, see what happens. Yeah, I just honestly I'm locked into the championship race. Just try something in this race. Try to learn something, passing people and all that.
Yeah, and you did a great job of that here today, showing tons of long run speed. And then it looked like you, on that second run, committed to saving fuel, and then we're right there behind Vulpes in that last run. Did you feel like you had anything for him, or were you going to run yourself out of fuel trying to go for it?
I I mean, you can only push so hard when saving gas, and then we got the dirty air on top of it. So you basically go from, instead of being 8/10 behind, you go to 6/10 behind, and that's kind of, if I had more gas, I could have pushed it a little harder and maybe found something eventually. But just like, what are you supposed to do? You're on 40 lap old tires. You're barely going to make it on gas, and he has the dirty air advantage. So, yeah, I needed to do the pit stop a little better and get out of pit road ahead of him, and I think that would have mattered more.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, now 2 weeks from now, and you've known this for 3 weeks now, that you'll be racing for a championship at Kentucky. Has any work gone into that yet, or where's your mind been in terms of this race compared to Kentucky, knowing you were locked in? And then now that you know the Final Four, if you don't, Volpus, Lesko, yourself, and Iverson, what are you thinking? What's your mindset as you prepare for that race over these next 14 days?
Probably way too much overconfidence, gotta be completely honest. I mean, I went there last year thinking I had no hope, and I passed both Colin Bollinger and Jordan Fisher on speed. And then obviously they got together and did their dumb wreck or whatever happened. But before that wreck ever happened, I passed both of them on speed, and I feel like I'm quite significantly a bit better driver now. So
that's scary.
I feel like it's just going to be not making a mistake. Last year at Kentucky, 1 and 2, awful. You can go back and watch the broadcast. Missed the bottom the entire race, and even then, still kind of just, I mean, I led. Once I got to the lead, I led and didn't have any issues. So going there this year, I can probably run 1 and 2 a little better. And as long as 3 and 4 drives the same as it did last season, I think I'll be just as good, if not even better, 3 and 4. So,
yep.
I mean, not calling my shot, but I mean, I did well last season, and I feel like I'm better than I was then. So.
Hey, I respect it. I love it. And hey, Kentucky's my favorite track. My advice to you through 1 and 2, go lower than you feel is natural. That white or that yellow line, white line, I forget what color it is. The very bottom. There's grip there. Get your left sides on there. Ride that thing all the way around it, and save those tires because it'll benefit you at 3 and 4. But what am I even telling you? You're better than me, and you won the championship last year. But great job today, Grant. Phenomenal drive. Really cool to see you put on a show when you were even locked in, and very respectful as well. So cannot wait for 2 weeks from now to watch you race for a back-to-back championship, one that looks like you are very much in position to take home. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you out of here?
I mean, shout out to my teammates as always, especially David Owens tonight. He was trying to help me figure something out to do with Joe Volpus, but he didn't have the tires to get up there and help me really do anything, but I appreciate the attempt. I appreciate Tony attempting to bring out the caution, even though it didn't come out for some reason, but that would have been real helpful. And just appreciate Buddy Sully being there all year long and putting in effort to just be a teammate. I mean, it means a lot to me at the very least. Normally I'd thank the admins here, but you know, they making every race a fuel mileage race, and I've got a conspiracy that they turned the cautions off. I mean, I don't know how Tony's
Today was
wreck
weird.
was not a
Today
caution.
was weird. There were 2 that were weird. I don't know, though. We just went to Milwaukee, and the same thing happened over in the Arca series, and I helped with that one, and I could tell you we didn't. I don't know what the hell is going on right now, but it was weird. I agree with that.
Yeah, but nah, I know Volpus wouldn't have actually done anything, but maybe. Just saying.
Not saying, I'm just saying.
I'm not saying he wouldn't, but I'm not saying he...
I'm not saying he did, but I'm not saying he also didn't accidentally leave him off. Because I didn't see anybody get a speeding penalty either.
Oh, they did. Parham did.
No, you're just making stuff up, Zach.
Watch the broadcast.
We don't talk about the speeding penalty.
Yeah, we don't. Sorry, me and June.
Oh, y'all didn't even talk about it. Okay, I guess it wasn't.
Oh no, we talked about it. He doesn't talk. It's a sore spot for him right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't like speed limits and pit roads. But thank you so much, Grant. Always a pleasure,
I love
my man.
running over pit roads too at full speed. But yeah, y'all appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.
You as well, my man.
Brother.
Oh,
Oy
what a character.
Why are they bringing up speeding? You know, I felt like Joe was just talking about not his race for a few minutes.
Oh my God, I know, right?
He was like, you know, you can't do that.
Oh, so mean.
You can't ruin your own race, you know, if you're trying to win or get second.
Well, hopefully Lesko brings it up too.
No, we're not gonna have that. All right, let's see if we can hunt down. They got third place. This is another championship for a driver.
He may be in a bad mood.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Nate, let's go. Mean Gene Zach in the booth. You got us, buddy.
Yes.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. Going to the championship at Kentucky in just 2 short weeks. How you feeling, my friend?
Feels good. I just tried not to do something stupid today. So, excited to do it.
Yeah, it was an interesting race. We saw you were one of the few drivers that were downshifting to maintain that speed. You were able to catch all the way back up to Gambrill, who was also on the 2-speed pit stop. When did you realize, or did it come into your mind that perhaps Vulpes and Applegate were up to no good?
It came like second to last stop. It came to my mind. But I just had track position. I was out in the lead. Clean air. It's just such an important thing in this track is the clean air. So I wasn't really wanting to give that up and for something that I was just gonna hope was gonna work. So I don't know. However it shook out, I was gonna be fine with. I just wanted to stay up front as long as I could.
Mission accomplished, as you did stay up front. Eventually it rotated around, but you still come home with a strong podium finish. Amazing year, my man, as we have just seen your emergence as one of the top drivers in the league. 11 top 5s on the season, more than anybody else. You come home with 3 wins, 7 poles. Tell me about Kentucky. We saw Grant dominate at Kentucky. We've seen Vulpes and Iverson throw up amazing runs. How does Nate Lesko like the Bluegrass State?
It's been a little bit since I ran it. So I don't know yet. I'd have to go back and take some laps. I'm probably going to go back and look at last championship race, see kind of what Grant was doing, take some notes, because it sounds like he did pretty well.
Oh, yeah. We had that thing. It was a pretty good shootout between him and former champion Colin Bollinger. Joe Vulpes wasn't in the championship 4, but he is well in that group, and Grant beat Colin, Joe, and Matt Novella by about 4 seconds there at the end. So I think watching Applegate, and of course, maybe even tune into one of our sponsors, Fish Speed, and get yourself a little extra 411.
I think Grant's paying for the premium, so I'm not sure they're going to give me that information. No, we'll see. It's definitely a good resource going to this guy. So.
Well, we're excited to see what happens. Tell me about your season this year. I mean, it's been mostly ups. I've only seen a couple of incidents that you've been caught in, but first year in the book now with the championship on the horizon, run on the horizon. How have you enjoyed your run here in MRL so far? Any memorable moments?
I can't think of one. Well, I guess Homestead. It really that's such a long time ago for that race, but it irks me losing out to Grant at the end there. So I'm out for revenge. But no, it's been really fun racing these guys. It's been clean racing for the most part, especially up front, and almost too clean in these last 2 races. So hopefully everybody gets a little feisty, I guess, for the last one.
For those of you wondering, Homestead was week 4 back on February 2nd. 14
Was it that long
weeks
ago?
ago.
It feels like yesterday.
I love it. We had mentioned, though, during the broadcast, so many races that Grant won. You came in second. Races you've won, he came in second. And we've just seen the two of you battling. Cannot wait to see the final showdown for season number 6 in just 2 weeks. And then you add in Mr. Consistency, Joe Vulpes, and the wild card of Tony Iverson. Tony's been in as many championship 4s as anybody out there, still looking for his first one. So this is really an amazing Final 4, something that we are super excited about. Nate, anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
shout out to the Final Four. It's got a great group here. So with Tony, Joe, Grant, should be a fun race. And check out Chuck and Larry coming out July 29th. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I do have a +1. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll, Zach, maybe I'll throw in my +1 to whoever wins the championship.
Yeah, get to meet Kevin James. That'd be pretty special.
Yeah. How do you look in a tuxedo? We're going to go in double tuxes.
I think if we're going together, it'll be two gorgeous looking bald men.
About. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Nate Lesko, regular season champion and now Final Four contender. Can he run the gambit as he's going to showdown with Tony and Grant and Joe in just 2 short weeks? Nate, thank you for your time, man. Always a pleasure to have you up in this booth so many times this season, and hope to talk to you again in 2 short weeks.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.
Good job, Nate.
Thank you.
I don't want to take anything away from the rest of the league, but these are the 4 dudes I want to see in the 4, at the intersection.
Exactly. This is really a perfect Final Four. So many drivers that have been so loyal to this league, all of them with near perfect attendance or perfect attendance, doing what it takes to be eligible for the championship, and what a job they have done.
I wouldn't have been sad if Wyatt would have made it in.
Me either. Next year, though, it's inevitable.
I think the momentum, and Wyatt and Ryan both run in a league that's closely affiliated with Fish Speed Breaks on Sunday night. And those are big fields. Those dudes, they're used to running fast with like 30 plus guys. So a lot of experience. They're going to come back even better. So looking forward to that. Buddy Sully, what a great year. Going to knock the rust off just more and more. We're going to see him back. Hopefully Matt Novella is going to come back full-time. Eric Gambrell, if he gets a full season in, gosh knows what the ceiling is for a driver like that. All the grandstand guys will return. The horizon, the future just looks bright for us on Monday nights. Cannot wait to see. But you know what? That is going to turn the end of the race part of this segment. And let's now go into the post-race show, brought to you by the Racing Tyrants. Thank you so much to Tony Iverson and the Racing Tyrants for being a full season sponsor of the Vortex Racing Network Monday Night Mayhem broadcast. So, Final Four locked in the books. What kind of discussion you want to have about this? How do
we make our predictions?
I mean,
I don't even know if I could pick one of the 4, honestly. I like what Applegate said. I like the confidence, and he's clearly going to go in there pretty cool and collected. But man, we haven't seen Nate Lesko at a place like Kentucky yet. So that's going to be interesting. I'm curious. And then Volpes, he knows how to, I don't want to say steal him, but he thinks about the little things. So much can happen. And then Tony Iverson looked like he had a race-winning race car today. Just unfortunately collected by that incident with Kenneth Redinger.
Yeah. And Kenneth looked like he had a race-winning car, too.
Yeah, and who knows who will show up next week.
Exactly. We'll just have to see. So the final 4 that are up, the guy with the most top 5s is Nate Lesko. He's got the 11 top 5s. So that's a guy you got to stare at for consistency. Behind him, you've got 10 top 5s for Applegate, 6 for Volpes, 5 for Ivers.
A lot of
bottom 2 guys pretty close.
And I think it's going to take a win, too, me and Gene. Consistency probably won't do it at Kentucky. You're probably going to have to win that race. And Nate Lesko, while he's been so dominant, led the most laps, won the regular season championship, our rookie of the year, these races have fallen apart for him far too often at the end.
Well, often because he's finding the front bumper of Grant Applegate.
Yeah.
When somebody is using the bumper to get you out of the way, again, not illegal, not dirty, aggressive, but that's racing. He didn't hit you. He didn't hit you. He didn't wreck you. He rubbed you.
He walks that tightrope very well.
Yeah. Now, a weakness that I'm looking at that would be top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Grant with 14, Nate with 13, Joe with 11, Tony with 7.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So, yeah, that sets up Tony to be in a position of, can I keep it on the track? Because I look over to the right a little bit and incidents stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Iverson, 5.56 incidents per race.
That's considerable.
That's
more than
that's
one
like,
car contact per race.
Exactly. That's a wreck every race.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else does that?
My assumption is potentially Applegate.
Grant, 4.37.
Mm-hmm.
So both those guys get into at least one car contact every time.
Yeah.
Now granted, if it's you, Grant, I didn't.
Nah.
That's lucky coincidence. Now, given that if it's you shooting under the bottom of somebody else to make a pass, or you giving a little bump to make a pass, of course you're going to get a couple of points. But again, if it's, what we saw today with Iverson and Redinger, that's race ender.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to be, it's such a gentle race. Again, no faster pair this year. Got to be so careful. You got to get your way to the end of that race. And man, these things are staying largely green too. So you're going to have to be thinking about that from lap 1. Like Volpus was. I mean, Volpus had the luxury today of driving well in that first run and being able to kind of make a decision after that first run. I do not think Kentucky would be that way. You'll have to have a game plan as that green flag drops.
Yep. Lesko and Volpus 3.16 each.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the lowest incident point drivers that were full time.
Yeah. And it makes sense. Both of them so clean all year.
Like all the way down to like 24th of the top 24 drivers. They had the lowest. You got to go down to Tom Lester, who had 7 starts on the season. Tom with 1.43 incident points per year. Good for him. That's the guy. Who moved up 3 spots into 26th on points with his start today.
Well done, Tom. Very well done.
Yes, sir. Another thing, though, I just mentioned Tony having the most incident points and the fewest top 5s. Bonus point.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus points. Nate 127. Grant 122. Tony 113. Joe 73.
Wow. Joe Volpus, and he's so good at that. He's so good at approaching races methodically, never doing anything unintentionally. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, even on Wednesdays, he had such a methodical approach to that season that he put himself in a really, really good position, as that will be starting this week. So yeah, it's not surprising. And Volpus is one that has won championships that way. He has the right combination of speed and intelligence to really come out of nowhere.
Going to be interesting. I just finding Joe at the lowest of the bonus points. I think that in the top 5s is why Joe was saying this is probably one of the most difficult seasons for him as far as his results. I think he's also just had such great success in the other series that he's been in. I mean, he was championship 4 for trucks, championship 4 for Bonfire last year, championship 4 for MRL, won a title. So I think in the midst of his peaking run, this kind of year has been a fight. The level of competition is also very, very difficult here. The recently departed Colin Bollinger, very, very fast. The addition of these insanely fast rookies has just made this season difficult. So one last thing we should do. I won't make you pick. How about that? I won't ask you to pick. But how about this? How does these drivers win? How do these drivers win?
Whoa.
The championship. Yeah. So I'll start. I'll go first. I'll tell you how Nate Lesko wins the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Nate has 7 poles on the year, more than double the next person. Nate has 4 stage wins, tied with Grant. I think the way Nate wins this thing is he takes the pole, he leads it stays in the front with the dirty air, survives the contact that you know is coming from Grant Applegate, and there's no fuel mileage nonsense at the end, and he goes wire to wire. That's, to me, that's how Nate Lesko wins the championship.
I could see that. And then
Poles, the stage wins, everything lines up for him to just take this thing wire to wire and raise that trophy. That's how he would win.
Yeah. Biggest thing Nate has to be thinking about is from the drop of the green flag, how do I finish this race by not having to pit in extra time, not having to do anything that my opponents are not. Nate has led so many laps. He has been controlling most of these races, but he has not visited victory lane as much as he should have. And a lot of that has been because of just things out of his control, but maybe sort of in his control, things he could have thought about earlier in the race. He's going to have to approach that race more methodically because of who he's going up against. And then guys like Applegate, how does Applegate win? By not getting into trouble and by doing what he did last year, by keeping it simple. Iverson, very, very similar. Iverson needs to not beat himself. He needs to keep it calm. He needs to focus on long run speed, and I think he has a chance at it too. And then Joe Volpes, how does he win it? The same way he did today.
Just a little bit of strategy and then be the fastest. Last 20
the
laps.
right combination of strategy and speed. It's so impossible to be Volpes when a race comes out like that.
He was the fastest car out there those last 20 laps.
Yeah, he was.
There was nothing anybody could do.
He absolutely was.
Interesting lineup. I will say this though. Give me a wild card. Somebody not in the final four that might win. Like if you had to go put down a shiny nickel.
Wyatt Mickelson. Could it happen on the final race when people aren't worried as much about him, where they have to worry a lot about their championship? Can Wyatt Mickelson make it all come together? And we know he'll be fast. If you're fast at Vegas, you'll be fast at Kentucky too. Half the track is figured out. So Wyatt Mickelson is one I expect to be in the top 5 in that race. We know he's respectful, so the top 4 drivers might just think, you know what, forget about it. Let him go. Let's figure it out amongst ourselves.
Good pick. I'm going to go with the guy that already has a win and might have a little chip on his shoulder after today. I'm going to go with Ken Redding.
Yeah, he's going to be a one to watch as well.
I think maybe if I had to go put a shiny nickel on somebody that ain't in the final in the top 4, I'm going to go with Redinger because right at the cut line. This has to hurt for him. Rough race today, so that would be my fun.
I like that.
But I tell you what, there's only one way to find out, and that's to make sure that you are subscribed to the Vortex Racing Network. Now, true believers, I know you are subscribed, but now I implore you, I would like for you to go out, find a new subscriber, get a guy to jump on, and I'll tell you what, it's not a hard sell at all with what we're offering. We're bringing you racing 5 nights a week. We're bringing you now the track guides with the partnership with Fish Speed Brakes. You want to run faster at these officials each and every week? Check out those track guides from Jordan Fisher. This is going to show you how to save tires. This is going to show you how to get better speed. And you all know when you're saving tires, when you're using the right amount of brakes, that's when you're going to come through in the end of the race. You could be the next Joe Volpes and be the fastest guy with the best strategy last 20 laps. So get a friend out there, get them to subscribe as well. You know you're going to want to see when we go on the air. You just watched the doubleheader Monday nights, always with that live doubleheader, DDI ARCA series from the Milwaukee Mile. Earlier, Zach taking the dub, and then you just saw the finale of the round of 8 here on the Monday Night Mayhem series. Tomorrow night, we are back. Yours truly, Mean Gene, with Zach Panzarella and Smokin' Joe, bringing you the Dennis Puckett Big Truckin' Tuesday series, and it's all on the line for the Puckett, the most coveted crown event in Bonfire, as they will be at Kentucky doing battle to get that opening trophy from Mr. KK Woodscapes himself. Wednesday nights, the All-Star League, MRL, DDI, and Bonfire guys all getting after it for the MRL DDI Moonlight Truck Series. And where are we racing this time?
I don't even know where they're cut up. I think it's going to be Richmond this time. We have a lot of good races coming up there.
Rich. Ooh, that's
yeah.
a tough track.
Oh my God, yeah. All these short tracks are getting so much more difficult. We were just at Monkey Mile over at Arca. My goodness, that track was hard.
Put 30 guys on the track that all have wins to their resume. It's going to be really difficult to win. Check them out Wednesday. Thursday night, of course, live racing, Quantum Contender Series. Buddy Dorsey and the boys are going to do battle. Kevin Kyle will be bringing you live all that action. And hey, you might get lucky. Maybe Kyle Lynott will take a little peek in there as well. Check out Mr. 988, perhaps joining KK in the booth. And then Sunday, they are deep over on the Bonfire Racing League Premier Cup Charlotte on Sunday, as it is elimination round. Going to go from 12 to 8, going to go from 8 to 6, 9 to 6, 9 to 7 drivers in the Best of the Rest tournament. So check them out at Charlotte. Full week of racing right here on the Vortex Racing Network. Final thoughts before we head out of here, Zach?
Amazing final race of the playoffs before we get to crown a champion. Wish it was next week. It's going to be a long 2 weeks waiting for this, both as someone who races on Mondays and gets to call these races afterwards, but cannot wait. Going to be another amazing championship race. So much drama. Don't miss it. I am counting down the hours, Mean Gene.
Okay, I'm sitting here looking. No. I'm looking at the chat for Monday nights. No chirping.
Oh, good.
Yep. No chirping. So nothing crazy happened over there. Final thoughts for me is we got what we wanted. We all were rooting, of course, for Mickelson to make a jump, or Stinson or Redding or one of those guys as well. But here we are, Final Four. The guys with the most wins, the guys with the most top fives, guys with the most stage wins, and they are finally going to show down. Can Applegate repeat? Will Lesko have another rookie take a title? Or can the veteran Joe Vulpes, 500 MRL starts, can he come through with another championship? Or will it finally be the Undertaker's turn? He's been waiting. How many WrestleManias can you go to until you finally break through? Let's find out in just 2 short weeks at Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap us up for the night. Thank you so much on behalf of myself, Mean Gene Money, my tag team partner, Zach Panzarella. Always a pleasure to bring you racing action on a Monday night. Thank you to our sponsors, Jordan Fisher, Fish Speed Brakes. Thank you, Kevin Kyle, for your sponsorship with KK Woodscapes Trophies, as well as Sim and Destroy Racing, having an apparel company as well, bringing us some sweet shirts. Check out that Goldie. Got that gold tooth right in the front. You could be a gangsta, brother. And thank you as well to Tony Iverson and the Racing Tyrants for their season-long sponsorship of the post-race show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure as always. Have a wonderful evening. And as always, bottoms up and hammer down.